Imagine holding a single position for just 2 minutes a day and feeling your legs burn, your balance sharpen, and your whole body switch on like it hasn't in years. Sounds too simple, right? Yet this ancient martial arts posture, known as the horse stance, has been practiced for centuries, not to build flashy muscles, but to create strength and stability that lasts a lifetime. Now here's the shocking part. Researchers studying isometric training, the type of muscle work where you hold still against gravity, discovered it can actually lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and rebuild strength in people over 60 faster than many traditional exercises. All without heavy weights, gyms, or fancy equipment. But the story doesn't stop there. Across Asia, elders in their 70s and even 80s continue to rely on this one movement to stay upright, flexible, and mentally sharp. Meanwhile, in the West, many doctors overlooked it for decades, assuming it was nothing more than an outdated martial arts drill. Only now are studies revealing just how powerful this static squat really is, especially when your body is past 60, and every step, every stand-up, every balance matters more than ever. So what actually happens if you practice the horse stance every day after 60? Will your legs transform? Will your joints feel younger? Or could you risk serious strain if you do it wrong? Let's break down the surprising benefits, the hidden dangers, and exactly what daily practice can do for your body. What exactly is the horse stance and why it matters at 60 plus? At first glance, the horse stance doesn't look like much. You simply stand with your feet wider than your shoulders, bend your knees, and lower your body until your thighs are nearly parallel to the ground. Then, you hold. No weights, no machines, just you, gravity, and your own willpower. But here's where it gets fascinating. The horse stance engages some of the very muscles that naturally weaken the fastest after age 60, your quadriceps, glutes, and hip stabilizers. These are the same muscles that allow you to rise from a chair, climb stairs, or catch yourself if you stumble. When they weaken, everyday movements start to feel harder, and the risk of falling skyrockets. Most people think strength after 60 requires endless gym sessions. In reality, simple isometric holds like the horse stance can spark deep muscle activation without the joint strain that comes from heavy lifting. Because you're not bouncing up and down, your knees and hips don't take the same pounding. Instead, the muscles fire continuously, building endurance and stability from the inside out. And it doesn't just stop with the legs. Holding the horse stance forces your core, those abdominal and back muscles, to stay engaged. For older adults, this translates into better posture, less back pain, and more confidence and balance. Imagine walking down the street without worrying about your legs giving out. That's the hidden promise of this movement. Culturally, the stance was never meant to be just exercise. In martial arts, it was seen as the foundation of discipline, patience, and resilience. For someone over 60, that mental component matters just as much as the physical. Standing strong, holding steady. It trains both the body and the mind to resist the urge to quit. So while it may look like a simple squat hold, the horse stance is actually a direct antidote to 3 of the biggest challenges of aging: muscle loss, balance decline, and loss of independence. Hidden benefits you might not expect. When most people hear horse stance, they picture burning thighs and shaky knees. But what surprises many seniors is that the benefits reach far beyond the legs. One of the biggest hidden advantages is blood pressure control. Studies on isometric training, the type of exercise where you hold a position without moving, show it can help reduce systolic blood pressure by up to 10 points. For someone over 60, that drop can mean the difference between high risk and manageable health. Unlike intense cardio, which can strain the heart if overdone, isometric holds gently condition the cardiovascular system. Then there's joint stability. The horse stance strengthens the small stabilizing muscles around your knees, hips, and ankles, areas most vulnerable to arthritis, stiffness, and injury. Strengthening these support crew muscles helps joints stay aligned and less painful, even if cartilage has worn down over the years. Many older adults who practice the stance daily report less stiffness when standing up or walking after long periods of sitting. Another surprising benefit: bone density. Weight-bearing positions like the horse stance signal your body to preserve and even rebuild bone mass. With osteoporosis being a major concern after 60, this subtle but powerful effect can protect against fractures that often steal independence later in life. And don't overlook the balance factor. While you're holding still, your body is constantly making micro-adjustments to keep upright. These tiny corrections train your balance system, the same system that helps you avoid falls when stepping off a curb or catching yourself after a slip. In fact, practicing this one stance is like installing a safety net in your nervous system. Finally, there's the mind-body connection. Holding a horse stance requires patience, focus, and breathing control. This mental discipline lowers stress and sharpens concentration. Seniors who practice daily often describe a calming, almost meditative effect, as if the stance resets both body and mind. So while the obvious gain is stronger legs, the hidden truth is that the horse stance quietly supports your heart, joints, bones, balance, and even mental clarity. It's not just about standing lower, it's about standing stronger in every sense. The danger zone. Risks if done wrong. The horse stance may look safe. After all, you're just standing still. But here's the catch. If done incorrectly, this simple posture can create more problems than it solves, especially for adults over 60. The first risk is knee strain. If your knees collapse inward or push too far forward over your toes, the pressure shifts away from your thighs and onto your joints. For seniors with arthritis or past knee injuries, that extra stress can cause lingering pain. What should be a strengthening exercise turns into a joint irritant. Another hidden danger is hip and lower back tension. Many beginners tilt their pelvis forward or hunch their back to sink deeper. This breaks alignment and loads the spine instead of the core. For someone with an already stiff lower back, even a few minutes in this poor posture can leave you sore for days. Then there's the issue of overconfidence. Because the stance feels simple, some people push too deep, too fast, holding longer than their body is ready for. The result? Quads on fire, shaky joints, or worse, an overstretched groin muscle. At 20, that's a temporary setback. At 60, it could mean weeks of recovery. Another overlooked danger is ignoring medical conditions. Seniors with uncontrolled high blood pressure, balance disorders, or recent surgeries may not be suited for a full horse stance right away. Jumping in without guidance could increase dizziness, instability, or even a fall. And finally, there's the mental trap of improper breathing. Holding your breath while straining in the stance can spike blood pressure, creating the exact opposite effect you want. Smooth, steady breathing isn't optional. It's critical for safety. The bottom line? The horse stance itself isn't unsafe. But doing it with poor alignment, without listening to your body, or trying to tough it out, can turn this powerful tool into a painful mistake. The good news is that with a few smart adjustments, anyone over 60 can practice safely and get all the benefits without the setbacks. How to do it safely when you're over 60. The secret to unlocking the horse stance after 60 isn't about pushing harder. It's about practicing smarter. With just a few adjustments, this ancient posture becomes both safe and incredibly effective for older adults. Start higher, not lower. Many people think the goal is to squat as deep as possible. Not true. If your thighs are parallel to the ground at 30, that's fine. But at 60, starting with just a slight bend, knees bent 20 to 30 degrees, is more than enough to activate your muscles. You can always sink deeper as your legs grow stronger. Use support in the beginning. Place a sturdy chair or countertop in front of you. Lightly resting your hands there takes pressure off your joints and gives you the confidence to hold longer without fear of falling. Over time, as balance improves, you can remove the support. Mind your alignment. Keep your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, toes pointed forward or slightly outward. Imagine spreading the floor apart with your feet. This activates your hips and prevents your knees from caving inward. Your back should stay upright, chest open, and shoulders relaxed. Focus on breathing. Inhale through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. This not only prevents dangerous spikes in blood pressure, but also helps your muscles relax into the hold. Think of the stance as a moving meditation. Even though you're still, your breath keeps the energy flowing. Time it wisely. Start with 15 to 20 seconds per hold, then stand up and shake your legs. Over weeks, gradually build toward 1 or 2 minutes. The magic is in consistency, not in suffering through long holds too soon. Listen to your body. Sharp joint pain, dizziness, or excessive shaking are red flags to pause. Muscle fatigue is normal. Sharp pain is not. Seniors with heart conditions, osteoporosis, or past injuries should consult a doctor or physiotherapist before adding the stance to their routine. By practicing with these safeguards, you transform the horse stance from a risky posture into a daily ritual that strengthens, protects, and energizes. It becomes less about fighting your body and more about working with it, building resilience step by step. Realistic daily routine, and what you'll feel over time. So, what actually happens when you add the horse stance into your daily life after 60? The answer isn't instant miracles, it's small, steady changes that compound over weeks and months. Week 1 to 2. At first your thighs may burn after only 15 to 20 seconds. Don't panic. That burning sensation is your muscles waking up. You'll also notice some wobbling as your balance system learns to adapt. Expect mild soreness, similar to when you climb stairs after not doing it for a while. Week 3 to 4. The stance starts to feel less like punishment and more like a challenge. By now, you may comfortably hold for 30 to 45 seconds. Getting up from chairs or out of bed feels easier. You might even notice that standing upright requires less effort because your core is activating more naturally. Month 2. This is where momentum builds. Your legs hold stronger, your knees feel more stable, and you start to catch yourself quicker if you stumble. Some seniors even report lower blood pressure readings after a month of consistent practice, thanks to the isometric effect. Month 3 and beyond. Holding the horse stance for 1 to 2 minutes feels achievable. Your thighs no longer fatigue as quickly, walking feels lighter, and balance improvements are noticeable in daily life. Tasks that once seemed draining, carrying groceries, standing in line, climbing stairs, become easier. Mentally, you feel more in control, as if your body is cooperating instead of resisting. How to structure your routine. Warm up with a light march in place or gentle stretches for 2 to 3 minutes. Perform the horse stance for 15 to 30 seconds, rest, and repeat 2 to 3 times. Gradually increase the hold by 5 to 10 seconds each week until you reach 1 to 2 minutes per set. Aim for 3 to 5 days a week. Daily practice is excellent, but consistency matters more than perfection. The beauty of this routine is its simplicity. No gym memberships, no machines, just a few minutes in your living room. Over time, you'll notice not only stronger legs, but also a renewed sense of stability and independence. Surprising scientific, anecdotal stories. While the horse stance may seem like a martial arts secret, it's not just ancient tradition propping it up. Science and real-world stories back it too. In 2022, researchers studying isometric training published findings that stunned the fitness world. Short bouts of static holds like the horse stance produced greater reductions in blood pressure than jogging or cycling for certain older adults. For seniors who struggle with joint pain or can't manage long cardio sessions, this discovery was a game changer. Imagine, standing still could improve heart health. Anecdotal evidence paints an even more vivid picture. In China, communities of seniors practice Tai Chi and static stances every morning in parks. Observers often note how these elders maintain upright posture, surprising flexibility, and steadiness well into their 70s and 80s. Western visitors often ask, what's their secret? The answer is hiding in plain sight. Decades of consistent practice with movements like the horse stance. One striking story came from a Japanese martial arts teacher who continued training his horse stance into his late 80s. When asked how he avoided falls in old age, his answer was simple. I train my legs to hold me even when the ground tries to push me down. His balance and endurance shocked doctors who said his leg strength matched men decades younger. Even outside martial arts, physiotherapists are catching on. Clinics in Europe and the US have begun teaching seniors modified versions of the stance to rebuild leg strength after hip or knee surgeries. Patients often report faster recovery and more confidence in daily activities compared to traditional rehab alone. Then there's the mental side. A recent wellness survey found seniors who practiced meditative holds like the horse stance reported lower stress levels and improved concentration. For some, it became less of a workout and more of a calming ritual. A moment of control in bodies that sometimes felt unpredictable. These stories and studies reveal something powerful. The horse stance isn't just a relic of martial training, it's a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science, proving that stability, strength, and clarity can be rebuilt at any age. Should you do it every day? So what happens if you practice the horse stance every day after 60? The answer isn't magic, it's momentum. Over weeks and months, this simple posture can reawaken leg muscles, sharpen balance, ease joint stiffness, and even lower blood pressure. More than just an exercise, it becomes a habit that protects your independence. But here's the key, it only works if you do it correctly. Rushing into deep holds, ignoring your body's signals, or skipping proper form can backfire. The horse stance should feel challenging, yes, but never dangerous. Start small, progress slowly, and always focus on alignment and breathing. Think of it this way, every second you spend in the horse stance is an investment. It's an investment in standing tall when others hunch, in walking steady when others stumble, in carrying yourself with the quiet confidence that age hasn't weakened you, it's refined you. And maybe that's the most powerful message hidden in this ancient practice. The horse stance teaches patience, resilience, and strength that doesn't shout, but endures. It's not about showing off what your body can do. It's about quietly building a foundation that supports you every single day. So yes, you can do it every day. In fact, even 1 or 2 minutes may transform how your body feels in daily life. Just remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. Step by step, breath by breath, hold by hold, you'll notice the difference. The only real question left is this. Will you give yourself those few minutes each day to stand stronger, live steadier, and age on your own terms?